Welcome back to the Exactly Entertainment podcast. Today, in episode 5, we are going to be talking about all our predictions for some upcoming TV series, starting with The Boys Season 2. Joining me is my wonderful co-host, Matt Lyons.
Howdy, everybody. Thanks for listening.
And we also have a guest tonight, Roman Cipolo. How you doing tonight?
Good. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Ready
Thank
to
you for
talk?
coming.
I am. I've seen The Boys season 1 3 times, so I'm ready to go.
Nice.
All right, quick disclaimer. If you have not seen The Boys, it is on Amazon Prime. Stop listening, go watch it, and then you come back to this podcast because we're going
That's
to
it.
talk some spoilers.
If you have Amazon Prime,
There's no excuse for
there's
you.
no excuse. It's the best show on that.
That's right. That's right. Also, we will give a potential spoiler warning just in case we guess something right. But everything that we will be saying is based on our predictions, and nothing is based on fact. Only from what we've seen from the official trailers and whatnot. And we may go into a little bit from the comics, but we'll try to keep it a little light on that.
If we do, we'll give a heads up for sure.
That's right. That's right. So does anyone want to start us off with a prediction that they have for The Boys Season 2?
Roman, as the guest of honor, would you like to start us off?
All right. Somebody's dying.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know. I feel like it's between Frenchie and Mother's Milk. I don't see all the boys making it out of this. I mean, you have the 7 that's going to be like united going after all these guys. Like, I mean, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to really see them work as a team. And it's like I don't know how, like, just these just non-powered just humans are going to be able to, like, escape, like, the wrath of Homelander and Queen Maeve and Black Noir.
especially all together.
Yeah, especially now that they're going to be all working together. I mean, I feel like someone's going down. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening for sure. Like you said, with like the few clips we've seen and stuff, we've seen all of them together, like the entire group of the 7. So I guess it would make sense for them to at least get one of the boys and take them down. Whether that be, capture them because they are wanted and send them to jail, or like you said, if they die. So
How would you guess that they would die? How do you think they would be killed?
I mean, I don't like. I feel like I feel like the show's not very, it's not one to make characters feel like they have plot armor.
Right.
So I feel like it could literally be as simple as like a Homelander laser beam, and I mean maybe they'd make it a little more dramatic, but I feel like it could be something just as simple as that. Like when we saw Black Noir fight the female in season 1, like I thought she was dead, and it was just simply a fight that was just a mismatch, and like I mean I don't know.
Interesting theory. I like it. I don't know. We were talking about this earlier, Roman, and it's such a hard show to predict.
Yeah.
If you have these incredible, superpowered beings, and yet somehow last season all the boys made it out alive.
Right.
And although, I mean, we love all the characters, like you said, like it's going to be hard to imagine them going up against all the 7 and making it out alive.
Exactly. I mean,
I could see them using Stormfront too to kill one of the characters. Like,
I was going to say.
I could see. Yeah,
I could absolutely see them using Stormfront. Just like, oh yeah, this chick gets shit done, and like just absolutely like melts one of them with lightning.
Like just have her like make an example out of one of them.
Right, and also it will kind of make the boys like maybe fear her as much as they do Homelander, because they're already all scared of Homelander aside from Butcher.
Yeah, so. I could definitely see that happening. They're definitely building Stormfront to be this contender against Homelander, and it's hard to tell from the trailers. It seems they have a love-hate relationship,
It
or
does.
it's just a hate relationship, or maybe a little bit of both, and they do some flip flopping because they
Yeah.
definitely challenge one another.
I mean, I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to see a power struggle between Homelander and her. I do think they actually, I don't know, because like I feel like on one hand I could see them like, becoming allies and working together, but I could also see them just really doing it just for the sake of making the people happy, just to keep a positive image.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I could see that going either way. I have a feeling that they're gonna kind of butt heads at first. You saw in like a few of the released clips and stuff, she kind of like steps in front of him and tries to de-escalate certain situations that he was trying to take care of as the team's leader. Um, I think they'll butt heads like that at the beginning, and he's asking her like, "What the f are you doing? Like, what are you trying to do?" She's like, "I'm just trying to help." And I think eventually they'll kind of understand each other, and maybe by the end, like they're working together, and that's just even more dangerous. So
I just thought of a theory,
okay,
like
fresh out of the
like
mind.
yeah, like
Let's
3
hear
seconds
it.
ago. So I think that they're originally going to hate each other,
Yep.
as can be expected.
Right?
But I think, like you said, Derek, they're going to kind of become allies. But I think towards the end of the season, Stormfront is going to betray Homelander and out him to the public that he is not what he says he is. Because you
Oh, I
can
can
see
see.
she has all these social media followers.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to completely betray him. And you can see in the trailer in one shot, like her and Homelander are at a rally, and he lasers a soldier and
Yeah.
flips him off, like
No.
completely
Oh my God. I
lasers
forgot
him and
about
kills
that.
him. So how is he going to come back from that in the public's eye?
Right. There's a
Because
lot of
he's
scenes like that. Yeah. Like there's
so
scenes
I
where he's like
think,
in houses and he does that too.
yeah, I think that he is going to lose the public's faith towards the end of the season, and I think it's going to be because of Stormfront, and she's going to
Yeah.
betray him.
I could see that, and then he just goes screw it and just kind of
Goes
does
off
whatever
the
he
rails
wants.
even more.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe like he even tries to go to extreme lengths to take her down. Maybe he tips off the boys. Maybe he brings back Lamplighter because we know he's going to be a part of season 2.
Yeah,
Maybe he brings back a Lamplighter to help take down Stormfront if that's how like the climax is going to be. I think that would be awesome and very like unpredicted if the ending was a big battle between Stormfront and Homelander.
that would be
I'd
awesome.
That
obviously
would
hope
be
that
awesome.
Homelander wins, maybe with the help of the boys or with the help of Lamplighter or something like that. The show does have a bright future. The showrunner has said that he wants to do 5 seasons. The show is already confirmed for season 3, so
It's exciting.
there's a lot to look forward to. So you also have to think in the long term, like, oh, do they want Homelander like exposed for the rest of these seasons? We still have 3 more seasons that we want to do. Where can we take that? Yeah. So I think that's a very good theory, Matt.
I mean, Homelander always looks like a character. I'm still waiting for him to break and like go off the rails. I mean, you saw him a little bit like when you saw it a little bit with like Stillwell, like him kind of like rebel a little bit. But I feel like I'm waiting for like something like on a larger scale to happen, and I feel like with like him maybe losing his mind and like trying to kill Stormfront or whatever would definitely meet that scale.
Maybe he'll have his son do it. Maybe like Homelander will be in danger, and all of a sudden, like here comes the little Homelander, and just
Right.
completely kills her out of
Like
nowhere.
even more messed up than him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
to,
excited to
yeah,
see that dynamic with him and his son.
yeah.
Because we see him like in the trailer pushing him off the house, like teaching him how to fly. And I mean, it's going to
Father
be
of the
really
year.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. That will be interesting. It's gonna be weird to see how Butcher escapes. I think Homelander has to let him go. He and I have a feeling we're not gonna see that because I've heard that we're gonna see that after in a
They said
movie.
that that's not going to be featured at all. It's just going to
Right.
be a short film after the
Short film
season.
after, right. So I assume my prediction would be, and I think that this is pretty obvious, especially from the dialogue and the trailers, that the boys are going to be in trouble and Butcher's going to come back and save them at the last second. So I could see us not seeing Butcher till like episode 2, 3. I would not be surprised if we don't get Butcher. Or maybe it's one of those things where he's in the very last scene in episode 1
Yeah, I was about to say
or
that.
something like that. That you shows do that a lot. I could see that happening. Maybe he's in the last scene, episode 1. If not, I could see them holding out to like maybe even episode 3, which is, they're giving us that bundle of 3 episodes at the beginning. So maybe they hold out till then to bring Butcher back. But we'll see.
I think Homelander kind of likes Butcher in a
Yeah.
way. Like, I mean, he knows he's like the most powerful person in the world for the most part. And I mean, Butcher's the only person that isn't even Stillwell, who had control over him, if you want to say that. She was petrified of Homelander.
Definitely.
And he even
Definitely.
said,
she
like, you're
said it.
kind of dark, and I kind of like it. Like, I think he's gonna release Butcher and just as like a game almost, just like
Like-
let's see what he does.
I agree.
Definitely see like a respect between them. Well, one-way respect with Homelander.
Yeah.
I don't think Butcher's coming around on him anytime soon. But
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in like a sadistical way, like it kind of helps his ego. Like,
Yeah.
like I just showed this guy, like I'm not gonna kill this guy. I just like dropped this bombshell on him that his wife is alive and she has my kid. I can't kill him now. I need to let him go and let him think about that and let that get to his head.
Yeah.
So I think if he was gonna kill him, he would have just left him in the explosion. You
Right.
know. So I think Homelander, since he's so powerful, he doesn't see Butcher as a threat.
No.
They're hunting. It seems like he's hunting them down because he's like told to, because they're wanted fugitives. So that's why he's doing that. And then it seems like he only wants them dead when it's like something like entertaining for him almost. Like he wants Starlight to kill Huey because that's like amusing to him.
yeah.
He's so
a game of
happy
cat
in
and
that
mouse.
moment. He's so happy in that moment, put your hands in the air, shake him like you just don't care. I'll kill him. He's all excited. You're right, Matt. Game of cat and mouse, and I think he just loves being the cat and he loves chasing the mouse. Doesn't even know what to do when he catches that mouse. So we'll see. How do you guys think that Lamplighter will play a part? We talked about him a little bit earlier. We know he's going to be played by the same actor who played Iceman in the X-Men movies, which
Iceman.
is ironic. And what do you guys think about Lamplighter?
I mean, I'm definitely excited for him. I think that, like, after hearing what he did to Mallory's grandkids, he's definitely got to be some twisted individual. So, I mean, he'll fit right into the 7. I mean, he's got, I believe there's 2 seats to fill, like, right? Stormfront will
take Translucence, and then since the Deep's on sabbatical,
right.
maybe he comes back and takes that spot.
Yeah.
Because it looks like from that scene that we got to see, the Deep goes after the boys on his own because they're in the water, and he's like, "Oh, I can do this." Like they made
He's trying to like
prove himself.
Yeah, he's trying to prove himself. Like, even the way he talks to Starlight, he's like, maybe someday you can accept me back into the 7 and stuff like that. He's trying to better himself. So he does that. It looks like he goes and does that on his own. When the 7 show up, he's like, "Oh, Homelander." He's so excited to see him. And yeah, so I could see that happening. I do wonder how Lamplighter is going to be, how much he's going to be in it, and how exactly they'll bring him into the story. I do know some things from the comics, so take this as you will. They may follow this or they may not. But in the comics, Homelander actually keeps Lamplighter in a storage container underneath the Vought Tower. And he has him as an example of what happens, when you mess with the boys. Because basically what happens is they say he's retiring, but they really have to make him disappear because the government puts a lot of pressure on Vought after, someone's grandkids die, you know?
Yeah.
So they could go out for that route.
I definitely see it. Definitely.
We'll see.
I mean, they released a promo picture, so I don't know if they're gonna go that route. Because I mean, in the promo picture, he doesn't look like he's been kept
Right.
in a cage. I think they might do that like towards the end of the season. But I just thought of in the first episode of The Boys, the Deep comes out and says, "As you know, my good friend Lamplighter is retiring."
Yeah.
So maybe the Deep kind of reaches out to him because this season's gonna show
That'd be
like
so funny.
the Deep's
I
like
would.
his road to redemption. So maybe
Dude.
he reaches out to Lamplighter and says like, "Lamplighter, I've lost my way. Like I need some guidance. Like what would you do?"
I would love that. I
That'd
would
be
love that.
so funny, Matt. That's such a good idea. Now I'm gonna be like disappointed if that doesn't happen.
I know.
That's such a funny idea. Yeah,
He kind of looks like the Deep a little bit.
he does.
Bobby the
Maybe
Iceman.
they had like a similar, like he said he was his friend. Maybe he had like a similar
Yeah.
dynamic.
my
That
God.
would all I can imagine is the Deep in full costume, like going to like a retired Lamplighter's house, and Lamplighter's just like sitting there and sit. Hey,
Yeah.
Deep, how you doing?
Not good Lamplighter. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, not good. Yeah. Oh, that'd be
Like I could even see him like having a similar like personality to the Deep, and like just to
Yeah.
see like two people like that. I mean, I want more scene. I just can't wait to see what creative ways they like traumatize the Deep again.
Yeah.
I bet we'll see him kill or get more sea creatures killed. We already saw that.
Oh, I hope so.
Sure, I'm
I
sure there's
do.
gonna be
The
a lot
guilt is
more.
just gonna weigh on him until he just can't function anymore.
Yeah. That's kind of the Deep Lamplighter. Black Noir looks to have a lot more screen time in this season. He was one of my the characters that I was very interested in season 1. We didn't see much of him. I know Matt has a very big theory, which I'll let you get to in a second for Black Noir, but I am really looking forward to this. Looks like he is the one that's kind of tracking them down. We see a few scenes. He's on a rooftop watching them. We've seen him, looking at like footage of them on like the boat and stuff like that. We've also seen brief shots in the trailer of him fighting Starlight at the table, which
Yeah.
could be
Oh, yeah.
really cool. I'm really looking forward to that scene.
And
He was
you
in the
see
opening.
Butcher swinging a crowbar at him.
Yeah,
I think it was.
yeah,
Which I think that will be a nice gritty fight.
yeah.
Oh, I really look forward to that.
So I think we're gonna see a lot of Black Noir, and I'm excited. And I don't know if they'll go with the twist from the comics. I do know Anthony Starr has been saying that he loves what they did with the Black Noir in season 2. That could be because of the twist and because he has a hand in that, because of the comic book twist.
I hate to derail the conversation. I have just heard word that Chadwick Boseman is dead
Really?
What?
after a
How?
4-year fight with colon cancer.
Wow.
This is not fake news. This is all over social media. Dead at 43.
Wow.
Wow.
That's. How do I even react to that? I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
I don't even continue to talk about the boys after that. I
I'm
thought you
so
were
sorry to derail. I couldn't.
well, no, that's understandable. I mean,
Wow. I mean, there was a video like at the start of the outbreak of the coronavirus that he did like a live stream, and he was so skinny, and everyone was commenting like, "Is he okay? Like he doesn't look himself." But oh my God,
wow.
43 years old.
2020. What a wreck. What
This
a
has
wreck
been a
this
terrible,
is.
terrible year.
Wow. I mean,
This is
That's
awful.
That's awful. He had such a
He was a rising star.
Yeah, he had such a future in the industry.
This is awful.
With just Black Panther alone, he had
I mean,
movie
he was
upon
in.
movie that he was going to be in, And then not to mention all his other stuff that he does that's really good.
Like I saw him being an Avenger someday,
Yeah.
like in the future of the MCU.
What terrible timing too. At the height of all these race riots, like this, he was a hero to the Black
Yeah.
community.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Such an inspiration.
right.
This year has sucked. This has been the worst year ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how we continue to talk about the
I know,
boys now.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you heard it here. Our live reaction to that. It's always hard to see people, big figures like that are such strong symbols go.
Especially at such a young age.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
just terrible. But
I mean, yeah, like you said, man, he was a hero in the Black community in real life, not just on screen. I mean,
Right.
like what he did in like his own movie. I mean, he was an inspiration
no.
to a lot of people. So it's sad to see someone like that go. It really is.
That's terrible.
And he was always such a cool guy, he at interviews and stuff, and with fans, he'd give them the Wakanda forever, and
Yeah.
This
Well,
is terrible.
I'll give him one last Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. That's awful.
All right. Well,
Why don't we take a quick break, kind of recap our feelings, and then we will be
Get
right
back
back with Exactly Entertainment. Welcome back to Exactly Entertainment. We've just kind of recollected our mindsets on the boys after the tragic news of Chadwick Boseman's death. So our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone, every one of his friends and family members.
absolutely.
But we're going to continue on with our conversation about The Boys Season 2.
All right. So we talked about a few members of the Seven. Is there anyone else that you guys want to touch upon before we maybe move to some predictions about the boys?
I'm going to mention Starlight for a second.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
in the trailers, you see she's wearing her new outfit that she hated the first season.
Very against it.
So I think Mr. Edgar is going to have a very commanding presence, and he's going to get his house in order. And he's going to force Starlight and say, look, if you want to be in the Seven, you need to do what we say. And so she's going to try and fit in with this corporate model and see if she can, fix it from the inside type of thing and try to, make it better. But I think it's going to be to no avail. I think some point in the season, probably towards the end, she's going to be kicked off the Seven and she's going to join the boys. It's kind of an out there theory, but I think, because she's probably the only good person there.
Yeah.
And I think that, her patience is going to run out, or the Seven's patience is going to run out.
Yeah, it's just a car crash waiting to happen there. It's a wreck waiting to happen. My prediction with Starlight, I think she's gonna stay in the Seven as an informant for the boys, because there's multiple scenes where she's hanging out with them and stuff like that. I think A-Train knows, but I think they're blackmailing A-Train with his the compound V addiction, because you see a shot in the trailer with Huey and her sitting on the side of the street, and he speeds off, and Huey looks scared. I think they're blackmailing him, and he's not happy about it. But I think that's where they're going to go with A-Train's character as well. He kind of recovering from that addiction that he had in the first season, and how it kind of led to Pop Claw's death in a way.
And his heart attack too.
Right, and his heart attack, yeah. So I think it's going to be a lot of that for him, and I think they're going to blackmail him, and she'll inform on the Seven for the boys. And I think once Homelander finds out, she's gone. Or if Mr. Edgar finds out, she's definitely gone.
And the
Um,
boys, I mean, I think they're going to need some more firepower. And
yeah,
not just her on the
Definitely.
inside. Like, if she's on the outside, at least she can, she won't have to hide. She can knowingly, like, battle
fight
them.
them, as well as Kamiko, who also
Right, yeah.
looks like she's going to be the one kind of taking on Stormfront in a few trailer shots we've seen. So I don't see them giving too much more to Queen Maeve this season. Maybe next season, but
I think
it's
if
her
any one of the
character.
7 is going to die, I think it's going to be her.
Yeah,
I don't think she will,
Maeve.
but in all honesty, I completely forgot about her until
yeah.
Roman in the beginning when you mentioned her. I was like,
Right.
oh, I forgot about her. Oh, maybe she'll die.
You see, I don't see her going just yet. I feel like they're not done with their character. That's the thing. Like I don't see them just like, killing her off before like she's got like I don't know. I feel like we just need more.
I
More
feel
from
like
her.
she's on her own redemption arc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
a
feel
little
like I
bit.
could see her as one of those characters that kind of just lurks in the background and then eventually has like that big payoff, you
Yeah.
know.
I'd
And
love to see it.
yeah, I'd love to see a big payoff with her. Maybe like even if I don't know, say Black Noir is fighting Starlight, and she kind of like agrees with Starlight. She sees herself in Starlight. Maybe
Right.
they're fighting, and she's on the ground, and she just knocks out Black Noir in the back of the head. Black Noir doesn't see anything. She lets her escape.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good payoff because she sees a lot of herself. How that's how she was when she first joined the 7. She
Right.
was happy-go-lucky, optimistic, wanted to be a hero, and then it kind of transformed her. And I think Starlight's going to kind of start to feed into it a little bit. She's doing the movies, she's wearing that new suit. So I think even if it's all fake, she'll just kind of start to acclimate to it in a way.
Hmm.
It will be more of like a rhythm for her and less like, oh my God, what's going to happen next time I go to work? It will be more of a, okay, I kind of am getting into the groove of things.
I mean, who knows? I feel who knows? Maybe probably not going to happen, but it's just a thought. Maybe she's inspired by Starlight going to join the boys, the good guys. I mean, if she sees a lot of herself in her, maybe Starlight, maybe like a bond starts to form between them over
Yeah.
season 2, and maybe Starlight inspires her to do good and do good by the boys. Who knows? Maybe Maeve could fight alongside the good guys.
And maybe like, Starlight is like the good version of herself, and Stormfront is the version she doesn't want to turn into. And maybe she kind of sees a little bit of herself in that, and that scares her. So maybe she kind of pushes her over to the boys team.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool, actually. I
Yeah.
do. Okay.
I think, like Matt said, if a lot of the boys are going to survive, they're going to need to have,
Firepower.
they're going to have to need some firepower. Maybe we even see, Lamplighter got cast out by the boys after he burned down Mallory's grandkids, and they said, all right, you have to screw off because the government's up our ass about you burning these little kids, so you need to disappear. And maybe he doesn't like that. Maybe he even teams up with the boys. We'll just kind of have to see. Anything else about the 7, or do you guys want to start talking about kind of predictions with the boys themselves?
I'm gonna unleash my number one prediction
All right.
about Black Noir, and this is major spoilers for the comics and potentially the show. So in the comics, Black Noir, his secret identity is revealed. Dun dun dun. And he is a clone of Homelander. And he's arguably even more powerful than Homelander. And he's basically there to keep Homelander in check. Because Homelander is so powerful, if he goes off the rails, then Black Noir can kind of like, he's basically the only one that has the power to take him out. And they've definitely hinted at this in the show. And like you said earlier, like there's definitely going to be a lot more screen time with him. So, and that's probably like the biggest moment in the comics, I think,
Yeah.
is that like reveal that he's a clone.
I hope they go that route, and I think they will go that route personally, but I know you have a different theory.
They're and I mean, in the opening 3 minutes, like that guy explodes and he's burnt up a little bit, but he's still standing. So we know he's not an ordinary person, and he's not just this martial artist person. He's a
Right.
superhuman. But The Boys has changed a lot from the comics.
Especially with Stormfront.
Absolutely,
Especially
yeah.
with Stormfront.
She's Homelander, right? Homelander doesn't have a kid in the comics.
No.
Yeah, they've changed a lot, and I think all the changes have been for the best. But because this is the best known moment in the comics, and because so many fans love it, they're going to do it. But I think they're going to spin it a little bit. And because Mr. Edgar is such a powerful person, so I'm wondering like how he got to be the leader of Vought. Like, what's his story? And in the opening 3 minutes, it cross-cuts back and forth between Mr. Edgar and Black Noir.
Yes.
And I mean, there's story reasons that they would do that, to introduce Mr. Edgar and kind of show some of the missions he's going on. But I think they're going to change it so that Black Noir is actually a clone of Mr. Edgar, or possibly a twin brother or something that got the Compound V and that is a superhero.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's totally plausible. I still tend to predict that it will be Homelander. I really want to see Anthony Starr in the Black Noir suit. I think that would be so cool. The
stunt actor that plays Black Noir, he's African American, as is Giancarlo Esposito. That's not really a major thing.
Right.
That's just kind of another similarity between the two.
Yeah, for sure. I think Black Noir is the character I'm most excited for, just because, I mean, with Homelander, you kind of know what you're getting in a sense. You know him so well from season 1.
Right.
But with new seasons of shows, always get excited about the characters that we don't know a lot about that we're going to learn more. So I'm super excited for Noir, super excited for Lamplighter. Shifting gears over to The Boys, it seems like there's a new character that I actually have a theory about. So there's this character we see a lot in the trailers that holds out his hands, or he moves his chest and it shoots out the pulse waves, and they like crush someone. I don't know where exactly they stand, because they're obviously not with Vought. They're in street clothes. They're kind of just a normal person. But I think that character might be a bit of a loose cannon. We know that Stormfront is trying to assemble a soup army. That's what she's trying to do. She said in the trailers. So maybe this character either joins the soup army, or they kind of see what's going on and join the Boys. It looked to me like there were a lot of people on that boat when they crashed into the whale. But that character generally has that hat on. I don't know. What do you guys think about that character? I guess my prediction would be that they work with the Boys, because maybe they are in a lab. I think my prediction would be that they're in some type of lab at the beginning being experimented on, or something like that. Something to do with Vought, doing bad things to this person. Or even if it's not Vought, similar to Kamiko's situation where they were, she was captured by like the terrorists or whatever, and something like that. And then I think that they're going to chase this guy down and be like, all right, we'll help you out. Come with us. We'll get revenge against Vought for everything they did to you. And I think that's how that character is going to work. Do you guys know the character I'm talking about? Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I see them trying, but part of me feels like he's going to end up with that soup army.
Yeah.
I feel like he's, from what little we've seen, he's going to be a difficult character to kind of persuade to their side. And Butcher, he hates soups, so I don't know if this guy really is a loose cannon. I don't know how much Butcher's gonna trust him. Butcher's the one that calls the shots here.
Yeah.
So if Butcher's a no-go, I feel like he's hard. It's not gonna happen.
Well, to counter that point, I mean, I do agree with you, but they've said in interviews that Huey's kind of going to challenge Butcher's position.
Yeah,
Butcher, he betrayed the Boys at the end.
That's
and
true.
Huey kind of steps up to be that leader.
Yeah.
So Butcher's back like, oh, what's up, guys? I'm back. They're kind of like
screw you, dude.
Yeah, like you left us to rot in a cell. But I think I disagree. I think that with that character, that's going to be like a Mesmer situation. Where they come to him for help. maybe they get a little bit, but not what they're looking for, and something goes south. Either
Yeah.
he dies or he joins a super army. I don't think he's going to work with the boys,
Yeah.
not willingly at least.
No, I don't think for like a long time. I think maybe like they agree like a little bit, and then once whatever their small common thing is over, they just go their separate ways. Like you said, I think they'll use him for what they need him for, and then they'll cast him out or he'll leave or whatever. But we have seen a lot of that character in the trailers, so I don't know. But transitioning over to the boys, Huey, like you said, seems to be a bit more rebellious this season. He was very compliant in season 1, you know. He was like, "Oh, I want my clothes." He was like, "All right, Frenchie's going with you." He just kind of was like, "Okay, all right, like there's nothing I can do. Frenchie's coming with me." And now you see him in season 2 where he's questioning Butcher. He's standing up to Butcher, and Butcher's kind of like taken back by that. He's like, "Oh, noted."
It's like,
you
Huey,
know?
what do you mean, mate? Like,
Yeah.
we're in this together.
Yeah, like I call the shots. Like, you know how this works, Huey.
Yeah.
But I think I can definitely see him stepping up a bit and being, you know, kind of challenging Butcher a bit. I think that's where his character is going to go. You saw him come out of his shell a little bit. You know, at the beginning of season 1, he was afraid to ask his boss for a raise. So I think, you know, now he's going to just kind of be his arc throughout the show will kind of just show how he gets more and more confident in himself. And maybe at the end of season 2, he makes a big move, and it's like a really cool moment for him. And, you know, he finally, like, he's in on this soup hunting game, and he makes a big move. Maybe he takes another one out, you know, because he's been the only one to drop a soup. So maybe he drops another one, and, you know.
Unless you count Mesmer as a soup.
Well, yeah,
he wasn't really much of a
right.
soup.
I guess referring to the 7, he was the only one to take
Right,
that one.
yeah.
7.
Where do you guys think the rest of the boy, like, if there is like that, or like the boys are having their own power struggle with like Butcher and Huey? Where do you think the rest of the boys would side with that? Do you think they'd kind of lean towards Huey or be like, "Nah, we're desperate. We need to follow Butcher here"?
I think it's going to be a bit of back and forth.
Yeah, I could see Mother's Milk going with Hugh, agreeing with Huey. I could see Frenchie agreeing with Butcher.
Yeah.
I mean, Frenchie like pulled a knife on, or a gun. Sorry, he pulled a gun on Butcher at the beginning of season 1.
As far as Kimiko, I think she goes wherever Frenchie goes.
Yeah.
I feel like they're a package.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see her talk, but I think we'll still see like a little bit more emotion from her. Yeah.
I don't know if they trust Huey enough, though. I mean, they obviously don't trust Butcher, and
Right.
to some extent, they never really have. But I
Right.
don't know if they know Huey enough to
That's
let
true.
him lead.
Or even
group.
like believe in him enough.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
'cause
have
he's
enough
just
faith
kinda-
yet.
Because all
Yeah.
he has is that, I mean, he has that big accomplishment. He killed Translucent, but still, yeah, I can see what you guys are saying. The thing is, character-wise, it would make sense for them to be out, but because of the plot, because they're all wanted, there's no out. They are fugitives. They need to prove that Vought's evil so they can get their names cleared. You know, there's no coming back from it now. And
Right.
if we see this 5-season story, unless one of them, there's no just backing out anymore. There's no I'm out. So I think that they're kind of just going to suck it up and just be like, all right, like Butcher's our best chance. Like, but we've always
They have
followed
to play
Butcher.
the cards they're dealt. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they're just going to work with Butcher. Huey's just going to kind of be like, no, this is stupid. You left us. But I think they're ultimately, like they always have, Butcher screwed them in the past. They always go back to Butcher. I think that's
So I kind of
Making
agree
a
with Huey. I mean, honestly, I feel like Huey. I mean,
But
like
they're the Spice Girls.
yeah, I mean,
yeah, he'll make another big
Butcher,
speech.
Butcher put his personal interests above what's best for them, and you know, Butcher said to Mother's Milk, he said like, look, it's gonna be different this time. It wasn't different. In fact, it was worse. They all look where they are now. They're wanted men. I mean,
Especially at the beginning, Butcher's nowhere to be found. Yeah. From the looks of it, with Butcher, you would think he'd be a lot more, you know, messed up after what happened, but it seems like it's good old Butcher back at it
Yeah.
from the trailer. Now, I think that's kind of his way of coping with it. That always has been, even when he thought, she was just gone. Um, he always had his suspicions, and he always thought she was alive. He went and destroyed the grave, all that type of thing, the gravestone. So I think that's just his way of coping. Is all right. I just do my act. I'm Butcher, like that type of deal, and he will do that to cope and kind of get to business. I think he's going to be a lot more bloodthirsty, a lot more risky this season. But I think overall, it's just going to be classic Butcher back at his shenanigans, going after the soups, and I'm in for it. So,
We love
Alright.
Butcher.
We do love Butcher. Anything in
Final. I guess overall, I think the boys is going to have a good run. I hope it gets that 5-season run. I think that's perfect.
least.
I think 5 seasons is perfect for a TV show.
I agree.
I want them to keep doing their own thing. Don't get too hung up on the comics. They know what they're doing over there. They do a great job. This is Amazon Prime's flagship show, from what it seems. So, just keep giving us more. Can't wait for season 2. Can't wait for season 3. They've already confirmed another character in Soldier Boy for season 3. I'm so excited. Keep it up.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you next week on Exactly Entertainment.